Today's Retro Spot, we're having a look at the Kenner Aliens figures. We're looking today at the Killer Crab Alien with dual launching chest busters. One of my more favorite alien figures from the Alien line. I don't know what it is, I just love the multiple arms, I love the coloring. I'll obviously get into all that when we get the package opened, but very delicious. Can I use the word delicious? Very delicious artwork up the top there, showing off the imaginary alien. He did not appear in any of the movies, so if you're frantically looking into your movie collection to see if you can find him, you will have no such luck, my friends. No such luck whatsoever, because he did not exist. You will also notice, too, that this figure does not come with a mini-comic. I know, a lone tier. If you were looking to get mini-comics, you won't find it with this guy. But luckily, there's enough going on with him that it more than makes up for it. Speaking of which, on the back of the package, other figures. By the way, the read-up at the top says the Predators have seeded a planet with alien eggs. The hatchlings infest all living creatures on the planet to spawn new breeds of gruesome aliens. With this well-stocked hunting ground of ghastly aliens, the Predators are ready to stalk the ultimate in big game. Who will win? Now, granted, the only real, I guess if you want to technically not count the hybrid, because I really don't want to count the hybrid, I hated that movie, Resurrection. Technically, if you want to count like the dog alien in Alien 3, it does make some sense that the aliens do exhibit characteristics of the animal that it was attached to. I don't know to the extent that you would get a red alien with multiple legs, but you know what, I don't know. Oh, and also as a side note, just a little side note about Alien 3, even though it was a dog alien, the director's cut, if you look at that, it's a different animal altogether. It's like the ox, which I'm glad they kind of wrote out, because it doesn't really make much sense that it kind of ran like a dog and yet it came from an ox. I don't know. Anyways, other figures that you can get, we got the Queen Face Hugger, the Rhino Alien, which is one of Spot's favorites, the Panther Alien, Snake Alien, the Killer Crab Alien, and the Mantis Alien. And then down below, of the deluxe aliens, we got the Flying Alien Queen, the Regular Alien Queen, ATAX. We got some Alien vs. Predator figures, the Cracked Tusk Alien vs. Predator 2-pack Scavenge. And then, of course, some very nice vehicles. Indicated here by the good folks at Kenner, figures not included. Not included at all. And for anybody that wanted to ballpark a date on this package and you guessed 1992, you would be guessing correct. What I am going to do is take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Killer Crab Alien. A lot more to come, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. The first thing you'll probably notice about the Killer Crab Alien is his coloring. The Killer Crab is very brightly colored in this nice colored red. Also mirrored with the red. Complementing the red is this kind of darker, what do you want to call that? Like a burgundy brown. That's kind of just covering off the top aspects of the body. Also in the legs, you'll see it in the tail as well. So really nice coloring. Definitely that is one of my favorite aspects to this figure, is the coloring. One thing that's also nice about this figure is the fact that he has multiple arms. You'll see that he's got two legs, or two pairs of legs, so he's got 4 legs total. And then at the front, he's got his regular, if you want to call them regular alien hands, I don't know whether you would count them as regular alien hands, but he's got those. Whoops! And Spot just fired off a missile. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Spot's getting ahead of himself. He's firing off the missiles already. Where was I? Aside from his smaller hands, you'll also notice that the alien has these much larger claw, living up to his name, these giant claw hands. He is a killer crab after all. And I really like that. I really like all these extra limbs. Unfortunately, the one thing I do like about the figure is kind of one of the things that is the drawback to the figure. The fact that he's got so much going on in the way of a tail, legs, multiple arms, all of which kind of impede one another. It kind of just looks like a modge podge of stuff. While his legs are free to kind of do what they want, all these limbs are free moving. There's really no problem there. But then when you get to these arms, whoops, I gotta keep firing these missiles off here. Get in there, missiles, get in there. Anyone want to guess what my other big problem with this figure? But the other thing I don't like is the fact that these arms, the claw arms, are really nice, but they get in the way of the legs. They also get in the way of these smaller arms. So even though he's got these, and they do move, there is movability, they do move up and down and whatnot, you can't really get a lot of movement out of them because everything gets in the way of itself. The arms get in the way of the legs, you know, the arms get in the way of the arms. It's just a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. I guess if you wanted, you could have them a little further down so they don't kind of get in the way. But I mean, then these arms here, because they're bent a certain way, they can only do so much. You can bend them up, like he's been scared, or you can just have them down. But they don't really do a lot. The tail also is a bit of a nuisance. Because it's curved a certain way, it can only go so far before it butts up against his head. And it's because it's curved a certain way too. There's really no comfortable way, I think, to have the tail placed. It just kind of gets in the way, just a little bit in the way. There's the undersiding of the figure, by the way, if you want to see the nice bright color. I'm willing to bet if this alien was a flavor, he'd probably be like a delicious cherry. Now, as for the other problem that I have, something that you've already seen, twice now? He's got these chest busters, these little parasite missiles on his main body. They are different from one another. I really don't know what's going on here. It kind of looks like, I guess those are teeth. But this one's a little more easier to make out. It kind of looks like a shark face. But they are a nice silver color. They easily stand out because of the color to the rest of the alien figure. By the way, there is his head. If you want to see his head. Looks pretty good. But the big problem with the missiles here is the way that they're fired. There is no button. Oh, no. There is no button. You want to know how they fire, my friends? All you have to do is press down on them. That's it. When you press down, I'm going to zoom the camera back here so you can see. And you can see how easily Spot would have accidentally misfired this. See? I barely touched it. And these fire right off. Now you get yourself quite a bit of distance with these. So likely, if you ever bought this figure, buying them loose, do definitely double check to make sure that these missiles are included. For how easily they fire, I would imagine very easily to lose as well. At least with the missiles out of the way, you can kind of get a better view of the alien. I'm in the way of his articulation. His head does rotate, but unfortunately these shoulder pieces get in the way, so they kind of get stuck. His arms do rotate up and down, but as I mentioned, really everything gets in the way of itself. The arms here move up as well, and then the legs move as well. So I would say while this is a toy that you get a lot of play value, and it's an interesting to look at toy, unfortunately it does a lot wrong that I think it's a completely fun toy to appreciate. Still, it's interesting. I like the concept of the missiles. I just wish it wasn't so easy to fire them off. A button, Kenner, it's irrelevant for me to be talking about this now because Kenner doesn't make these anymore, but had they only found a way to, and it's something else too I've noticed, you have to be very specific as to how those missiles go into place. There is kind of a cross formation, but depending on which way you put that missile, if you put the missile in the wrong way, it either does not fit or it doesn't lock into place. In this case, you will see that this missile doesn't even go in, so I might have to actually swap it out with the one at the bottom. And as you can see, it doesn't go in right away. You kind of have to push it in a couple times, and then finally it locks if you get the right angle on it. There you go. Kind of torn as to what I think about the figure. I love the look of them, but again, as good as that look is, the same things I like about it are also the things that kind of ruin the toy for me. I think what I am going to do though, I think I'm going to give the Killer Crab here, I'm going to give him a 7. I can't fault it for the paint work, and I love the coloring of it. The multiple arms are cool. It's just a shame that they couldn't have been done a little bit better. Today's retro spot though, we're having a look at the Kenner Aliens figures. Oh, it almost fired right at me. I got to be careful with these things. Today's retro spot though, we're having a look at the Kenner Aliens figures. We're looking today at the Killer Crab Alien. I thank you guys for watching. Certainly there are more alien figures to come. Oh, don't worry. There are also more retro spots to come. And I will see you guys next time. Just be careful of those missiles spot.